All right, so it looks like we're ready to get started. We're broadcasting or starting this out of Little Rock, and we've actually invited some customers into the office for lunch today, so that's why you'll hear some little background noises and some people eating and having a good time here. So to start things off, we'll start with Devi. She's in Orlando, Florida, and she's going to kind of give you a brief overview of Convergence for those who haven't attended and kind of what goes on. So, Devi, you're free to go.
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you everyone for taking a few minutes to enjoy our recap for Convergence 2014. This year, Convergence was actually held in Atlanta, Georgia. A few of you who have attended might have recognized the location as it was there a few years ago as well. The picture that you're looking at right now, oh, sorry, I think...
oh, did I go too fast?
I don't see a picture, so I just want to make sure that I'm speaking on the right picture. Okay, so the booth picture that you're looking at here was the InterDyn BMI booth that we had on the expo floor at the conference center. It was actually at the Georgia World Congress Center. If you look at that picture carefully, you'll see in the little corner there it says win $25,000. No one won, sadly, but that was our giveaway at the BMI booth. We had a safe, and you were allowed to come up, pick 5 digits, and try your luck. We had a few hundred people attempt. Unfortunately, no one really did crack the safe. This year at the keynote, Microsoft did announce that they met their attendee requirement. They were projecting around 12,000, and they actually did get a little bit over 12,000. So every year it has continually grown, and so this year Microsoft did have 12,000 attendees. We'll go to the next picture. Things that were going on around Convergence is, you know, everyone looks forward to the classes, the sessions, the keynotes. This picture is a good combination of those. You can see on the left-hand side, Kirill always starts off the keynote sessions with some of the new ads in Dynamics and new customers. New Belgium Brewery being one of the more popular ones, and can't figure why, but it was. Delta Airlines and so on. And then to the right, that slide shows some of our keynotes Wednesday, Ariana, Huffington, and Bisto. In the center is the great-looking group of people. It's our BMI staffers. There on the left, Mark Torgeson, Kayla Joe, and Daniel. So we had some fun manning the booth, and we had some good times attending the sessions and hearing the new clients that are new to Dynamics. The next slide is, of course, Convergence wouldn't be Convergence without fun. And literally, the group this year was called Fun. I'm not sure how many of you know that group, but it's the group that sings this song, Tonight We Are Young. So it was a great concert. True to Microsoft was fun. The top couple of pictures that you're looking at is the entire BMI group of attendees, and I think there might be a client in there as well, getting ready to go to the concert. In the middle picture, we had an event called Geek Convergence, and we have AJ, who's our NAV product manager, Kayla Joe, and Jane from our marketing team there. So there were a great looking bunch of geeks there. The last picture that you're looking at to the right is Brian Campbell, one of our account executives in Minnesota. Brave soul, because he got up quite a few times at one of the events and did karaoke. So he did really well, and so we all had a great time at Convergence, and it was a good venue this year. And the tone was some great sessions and some good keynotes to take away. And I believe those were the only highlights that I had to discuss as far as like the overall feel. We are excited to learn about some GP, new functionality and features. We've invited Lorna Link, our GP.
Okay, Lorna, do you have control now?
I hope I do, yes. Okay, please let me know if you can see the screen that now says Microsoft Dynamics GP 2013 Now and Next.
I can see it on my computer, but we're not seeing it on the screen here. Let's see. Okay, we're good now, Lorna here.
Okay, all right, great. So what I get to do is I get to talk about some really great features that they're coming out with Dynamics GP 2013, and also to talk about what they told us they're coming out with GP 2015. So I will move along quickly because I know Daniel has a great bunch of content as well as regarding CRM. So I'm going to just go flying through this, hopefully. Just flying. There we go. So there's a roadmap. As always, Dynamics has a roadmap of where they are going. So the GP roadmap is kind of walking out and saying, you know, when we released Dynamics GP 2013, they released web client functionality. And then periodically since that release, they've also been updating the Rapid Start tool, the Azure platform, more web client functionality pieces. What's coming out this summer is what they're calling the R2 features. And it's a roll-up too, so it's actually functionality adds to Dynamics GP 2013. And pretty big adds. Specifically, they're changing the way the workflow product works. They're taking it out of SharePoint and making it dexterity-based. They're adding apps. So there'll be apps for, like there are apps for business analytics. There's going to be apps for a procurement process that will talk to Dynamics GP. And then they're also dealing with apps that will deal with Office 365. That's coming out this summer. The next big thing that's coming out is at the end of calendar 2014, GP 2015 is going to be released. And that will have additional added functionality. It will also have what they're calling service-based architecture that is going to start the process of eliminating or building in different ways using services as opposed to having eConnect or Integration Manager. Those will be built in as services. So over time, some of these products are going to be going away and be melded into the product itself. So we're going to take 20 minutes to kind of walk through what these great options are. So the next big thing that's coming out for GP 2013 is the R2 roll-up, which is supposed to be coming out this summer. With GP 2010, and if you were business ready licensing, you got a product called Business Portal, and with Business Portal, you also received a product called Requisition Manager. And so what that meant is we had to install SharePoint, and we had to install Business Portal, and then we had to do a whole bunch of user setup, and then you could do requisitions and purchase order requisitions with the workflow that was set up in SharePoint. It was okay, and it was fine. It was just oftentimes it seemed like a big overhead, big burden. So what they're doing is they're building requisitions into an app. So you'll be able to go to the Microsoft App Store and download an app that will be for requisitions. It will be available to a limited user in the GP web client, and it will also be within the user application, the rich client, where we can do a purchasing requisition, submit a purchasing requisition, use workflow that is no longer SharePoint-based but dexterity-based, and get that requisition approved. And so it still will send out emails to non-GP users to approve the requisitions. You'll be able to have that same functionality that we had with a Business Portal requisition. What it's doing is it's making it easier for us to deploy because we don't have to do it through SharePoint. It'll make it easy for us to modify the existing template that Microsoft comes out with for the workflow organization. We can build our own or modify what they've done. So it will become a product that we'll be able to deploy and be able to say, yes, this works well for us. So I've said this a couple times, workflow. The SharePoint-based workflow that comes with Dynamics GP is going to now become dexterity-based, and that means now our developers are going to be able to modify, create the existing workflows. And so the purchasing requisition workflow is one that will be released with the GP 2013 R2. And what they're showing here is a screen that says this is kind of what it's going to look like. And this, if you're using the requisition management product with Business Portal, this setup screen looks fairly similar to what was available in SharePoint. It's now just a user interface and it's dexterity-based. And you have not, and I'm going to just point this out, the email approval is still there. So these people don't have to be GP users, and they don't have to be limited users in order to approve a requisition. Identity management. This is a baby step. Okay, so GP has never, you've always had a separate logon to get into Dynamics GP. You'd log into the network in the morning and it would know who you are, and then you'd go to GP and you'd have to have another user ID and password to get into GP. What they are trying to do with this R2 release is streamline this, to be able to say when you log into a web client, it's going to know who you are. So you're not going to have to do dual entry. So this is the baby step to further identity management that's going to come with GP 2015. And this is a huge step for the GP product. So it's just another picture to say we're going to eliminate stuff. We're going to know who you are, you're on the domain, and when you log into the web client, it's going to say, well, I know who you are, you don't have to put anything in. And I know who you are, so I know what GP companies you could get into. Okay, so big, big pictures, that workflow, that identity management, big deals for a GP. With GP 2013, and I believe it was Service Pack 1, they came out with a product called SmartList Designer. Now, we had long been selling people SmartList Builder. That's a tool set that allows you to build new SmartList views. And that ownership of that product went back to the E1 product line, or the product line group. And so now it's not a product that we can buy from Dynamics or from Microsoft. So Microsoft came out with a product called SmartList Designer. In its infancy, what you could go in and create a new SmartList, and you could look at all the tables that you had within Dynamics GP. What they're going to do in the R2 version is amp it up. Now we're going to have the ability to add go-tos. We're going to have more functionality in go-to options. We're going to be able to open up a form. We're going to be able to create a navigation list. So things they're building up better functionality in SmartList Designer. So if you tried SmartList Designer with the first release and it was okay, it's only going to get better. So what we'll be doing with you is to be balancing it out. What functionality does SmartList Builder have that SmartList Designer does not have? And we'll help you make an intelligent decision about what product is really the best right now. If anybody's using the email functionality that came out with GP 2010, we were allowed to, what you have to do is kind of manage the documents on when you printed a batch of documents, you could either print or you could email. Now they're saying we can do both at the same time. They're also going to make statements, RM statements, available with the email process. And that has not been available until R2. They are going to allow us to email or print any document, any report in Word format. So the Word templates that are available have the easy way to doing the Word templates were with the sales order, the purchase order, and those were available easily to us. Now they're going to make Word templates easier so that you can run an AR trial balance, send it out to a Word template, and then email it out as well. They always had a little tool set that you could create your Word template, but now they're building it into the product for us. Okay, so now we can identify an email for particular documents. The email right now on GP 2010 and 2013 is based off of the address on the document. And so now they're saying that we can have quotes be sent to one person, we can send sales orders to another person, and invoices can go to another person, all with the same address. And what it's doing is it's just different companies have different processes. And so you may want invoices to go to that customer's AP department, but quotes always go to their purchasing managers. And it's just going to help us manage the email and make it a much more functional tool set. Also with GP 2013, and again, believe Service Packs 1, they came out with this document attach, or actually I think GP 2013 had document attach. And it just beefed up the OLE Notes that we've had for forever, where we could attach documents to customers, vendors, and items. With a Service Pack that came out, I believe Service Pack 1, they added the functionality that now we can email those documents. So if we wanted to have a purchase contract or a picture of what the customer is buying, when we email the invoice to the customer, we can also email associated documents with them. Now they're going to say we can scan documents directly to document attach with a scanner, and we can put it to payables transactions. We're also going to be able to convert any sort of OLE note that you've currently got into a document attach. So big step. still not a full document management process because there's no approval in this. But if you're scanning those AP invoices and you want them available on the AP transaction for drill back purposes, we're going to have that functionality with R2. Migration path, basically talking about how we're going to be able to put any attachments, any notes in the existing OLE documents and putting them into the document attach feature. There will be a migration for that. We'll also have the ability in transactional windows to hook SSRS reports to those transactional windows. There may be reports that when you're putting in a sales order, the customer may ask you for something, and you could have that report available, be able to print it, and email it to them automatically. One of the challenges with the GP product is that its look and feel, the way that the windows have looked, has not changed dramatically. They are changing that user interface. So if you look at this screen, they're going to include ribbons on the form. So it's going to look more like Office, more like Word, with that ribboning functionality. It's the rich client is now going to look like what the web client looks like. Much more updated look and feel. Okay, some quick wins. The ability to reopen a GL year. So if any of us have ever had the unfortunate ability to have a balance sheet account marked as an income statement, and we've had to go through all those steps to correct things, or we've had to restore from backup and fix it, it's a putsy pain. So now what we'll have is we'll be able to open up a historical year, make your correction, and reclose it. This is also great. This is our ability to copy from an Excel spreadsheet to our general ledger journal entry. So you're going to have a template of what a journal entry would look like. You'll be able to click on an import button and import journal entries from an Excel spreadsheet. Yay! With GP 2013, they came up with suggest sales items or suggest items. So on your item card, you could say identify additional products that you might want to sell to somebody. So if they purchased a product, you would get a pop-up window that says, hey, you may want to talk to them about this as well. And if the customer said, yes, I want to buy it, you'd mark on a box and it would pull it into your sales document. Now they're going to give you some scripting, perhaps saying why you might want to have the customer consider buying this. It will also show the warehouses and the quantities available to sell in this window, so you can make a good selection on which window this should come out of, or which warehouse this should come out of. Mass or easily updating an item, a new item, to the warehouse sites that you want it to be assigned to. So we've got this great screen where now we can mark all the warehouses where this item can exist, be assigning whether or not you've got a primary vendor, put in landed cost group. I mean, it's going to make the input or creation of a new item so much more easy. Prepayments. With Dynamics GP 2013, we came up with the ability to assign a prepayment to a purchase order. So they're making it better. They're saying now we can do analytical accounting transactions against it, multidimensional. It'll show up in the cash flow management product. You can do this with a project purchase order. And as you drill back into information, you'll be able to see the PO number for the payment that it's associated with. Okay. So I said at the beginning how they were going to get rid of Business Portal. Business Portal is going away. It will not be released for 2015. And so what they're doing is they're saying, well, let's find places for all this to go. So the strategy is to say people who actually need a little bit of functionality could go to the web client with a limited user license. They could get into a requisite. They could do a requisition, do some employee self-service, or some project time and expense entry. If you didn't want them to do that, you would be able to work with the Microsoft apps. And the Microsoft apps will be cross-platform, so it doesn't have to be a Windows device. It will be able to be an Apple device, for example. But then these apps you don't have to have a user for that. So they'd be able to do a requisition. They'll be able to do time entry and some employee self-service and eventually time and expense entry. So this is just a screenshot of what the self-service homepage would look like. So if you're using payroll with Dynamics today, you could roll out the app or the web client to have somebody do some self-service, maybe request some time off or request a change to their address, for example. They could enter time. It will have workflow associated with it. Projects is going to look very similar to the way the project time and expense and business portal looks. Okay, so this is the app roadmap. You know, talking initially how Business Analyzer, which is a set that pushes SSRS reports or SQL Server reports out to non-GP users. That currently is a Windows app, but what we need to do is we need to have more apps, and we need to make it cross-platform and an off-domain support. So if you look at the roadmap of what we've got, we've got more and more apps being released. We are making off-support domain or off-domain support available this year. We are also talking about in March, April time frame where we want to be able to have Excel, the Office 365 data available in the Business Analyzer. In June, we're going to be able to enter time, view time off. It's going to be cross-platform. In further months, we're going to have the ability to push management reporter reports out to Business Analyzer. So again, users you give access to information will be able to pull up Business Analyzer and not consume a GP license, but still get valuable information. Just what Business Analyzer looks like. This is what the procurement screen, or what they're hoping the procurement screen is going to look like. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be very straightforward in the app. I mean, as far as what they showed. What the time entry within the app is supposed to look like. All right. So that is what is coming out with GP 2013, the R2, which we are very much looking forward to coming out this summer. The next thing is GP 2015. And they will be adding many more workflows. So we'll be talking about GL batch approval, employee onboarding. So a lot of the workflows that we have today with the workflow product that is released, they're going to be making sure that by GP 2015, those workflows are ready for us to roll out to you when you upgrade to 2015. They're going to add features such as split shipping of kits, load balancing enhancement, payroll posting account. So if you use payroll, you know how much that payroll posting matrix setup can be. It can be very challenging, so they're going to make that easier. They're going to allow you to do multiple PO prepayments, because right now you can only do one prepayment on a purchase order. Okay, so GP 2013 R2, we talked through a handful of the new features, but it looks like they have 30 major features that are coming out. Workflow is going to be huge with that new release. These baby steps for identity management. In GP 2015, the total replacement of business portal plus 40 new major enhancements. And then working on what they're calling service-based architecture, which really is changing maybe not so much the way the end user sees the Dynamics GP system, but the way that we talk to GP. So if you've got ongoing interfaces that are feeding into GP or customizations that we've done, all of that will be evaluated and be slowly updated and changed to the service-based architecture. So I said at the beginning, but don't anybody, I mean, it's not an immediate, where eConnect, Integration Manager, will slowly be eliminated and will be built into the development tool set, so that we'll still have the tools, we'll still be able to write imports, but it won't be with those specific tools that we have right now. So that is the end of my presentation.
Okay. All right, Lorna, thank you very much. We're going to switch things over here and get Daniel going. Talk about CRM.
All right. This is going to work. I'm off mute. Everybody hear me okay? Perfect. Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming today. Have 10 or 20 slides here. I'm not sure. I'll try not to talk too long, but I want to talk about CRM. Huge year for Microsoft CRM. Convergence was heavily dominated by Microsoft CRM this year, mainly because of the new version that came out in the fourth quarter of 2013. Dynamics CRM 2013 launched both on-premise and online. Was a huge release. Changed a lot. It added a lot of capability to the system. It also changed the user interface significantly. So if you have seen CRM before or are a user of CRM, the 2011 version, and you haven't seen CRM 13 before, you will not recognize it. It is significantly different. And I have some screenshots in my presentation today. Why Convergence was so heavily dominated by CRM was that this is going to be a huge year for CRM functionality release. We have 7 functional releases coming out in 2013, spread out the year. It's coming in 2 waves, a spring wave and a fall wave. It is the accumulation of several acquisitions that Microsoft has done over previous years. So they have purchased about a year ago a company called NetBreeze that allows social monitoring. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. They also acquired a company called Marketing Pilot about a year ago that enables marketing capability within CRM. So this year we are seeing those acquisitions actually start to show up in the actual software. So what I want to do is sort of set the stage a little bit. CRM, just to give you a premise of the role CRM plays within an organization, is ERP is good at execution. It executes order fulfillment, executes invoicing, AR, inventory, accounts receivable, all of purchasing, all of that. CRM's role in the application stack for an organization is to keep up with the activity of an organization in 3 main areas: in sales, in service, and in marketing. It allows you to track, capture, and report on the activity of an organization across the board. So think of maybe CRM as ERP as a bullseye with CRM wrapped around it. It's that activity tracker. Okay, just an example may be the activity that goes on leading up to an order. Right? You talk to a potential client about a purchase. You may trade emails back and forth a couple of times. You may generate a couple of quotes. All that activity, you know, you may go out to lunch. All of that can be captured and be reported on and become organizational information. So what I want to talk a little bit about is Microsoft's approach to the functionality that they're putting into CRM. And I'm going to start with this slide, the age of the customer, because the way people buy now is different. And I think you're going to recognize some of this as we go through. So a couple of statistics here. So 4.5 billion people on social, okay, in all forms, 6.8 billion on mobile, 400 million tweets, 150 checks to some sort of device a day. I saw another statistic that there is actually in 2013 more connected devices to the internet than there are people on the planet for the first time in history. So just amazing statistics about the connectivity of the world today, right? How we can get information and how it's so available to us. Next is we buy differently because of it. Statistics say that customers now are 57% through a purchase cycle before they ever engage someone that's actually going to be able to sell them that product. They do self-research. They go out on the internet. They talk to people that they know and trust about purchases that they're going to make. When I saw this, I'm like, yeah, I do that myself, right? I don't want to talk to a salesperson, right? I mean, it's just kind of the world today. Sorry, John. Right, we're going to go to people we trust, we're going to talk to people we know and get their input, and then we're going to do research on the internet ourselves, and when we're ready to buy, we're going to be these really knowledgeable purchasers talking to the people that can actually sell us what we want. 70% for complex, right? If I'm going to go buy something that's highly configurable, I'm going to do even more research. Last piece, customer service, right? We all know what customer service is. We know it when we see it. We can tell you whether we've had a good experience or a bad experience. 80%, again, statistics, 80% of customers are willing to pay more for better service, right? Now that's all subjective, but that's statistics. And then 23% of customers that are highly engaged, that receive great service, right, will lead to increased profitability and revenue for your organization. So again, some statistics. The goal here is to talk about that customers are more savvy now in their buying. Customer service is even more important now because the purchase experience is literally one click away, right? They can change their mind, that purchaser can change their mind instantly and be one click away from you to your competitors, okay? So that's kind of the premise that I want to start with. And I have a roadmap too, and I have a great galaxy, and Microsoft has this affinity for naming things. CRM, they love constellations, so at least we don't have the 7 dwarfs, we have constellations, so that's good. In Q1 of this year, Microsoft acquired another company called Parature. Parature is a company that provides service functionality that can be embedded into existing websites. Okay, it's much more than that, but in brief, that's what they do. They can take your existing website, put scripts, hooks into it that allows you from your CRM system to capture a support request from it, provide knowledge-based information back to that user that came to your website. So it's a very feature-rich set of functionality. They were an independent company. Microsoft acquired them first quarter of this year. And while we're not getting any of their functionality immediately, it is out there available. You can subscribe to their service, and we look for that functionality to come here later in the year. The spring wave that I talked about is coming Q2 of 2014. We're actually there, right? April. It hasn't released yet, but we're getting 3 separate areas of functionality releasing. So we're getting Leo, Supra, and Mira. Leo, codenamed Leo, is our platform improvements. So they're taking the CRM 13 release that was in the 4th quarter of last year and improving on the platform itself by adding some enhanced capabilities to it. And I'm going to touch on some of those here in the next slide. In the social area, Supra is a new area of functionality for us. So what Supra is allowing us to do, it's the implementation of that NetBreeze acquisition that I talked about. With Supra, we are now going to be able to monitor the social world and capture as activity tweets, Facebook posts, sentiment about us, campaigns we have, our business, our brands, through the monitoring of the social environment. Okay? And I'll show you some slides on that. Mira is the marketing functionality that I talked about. So the marketing pilot acquisition is the enhancement to the marketing area of CRM that allows us now to do campaign launches and more feature-rich marketing activities in CRM than we've been able to do before. Okay. In Q3, we're going to get another functional release called Libra, which is going to further enhance our social areas. And then in Q4, we're going to get the fall wave, which is going to be Vega, Hydra, and Electra, which is going to be an additional enhancement of the entire stack feature set in the platform, social, and marketing. And it's also going to be our version 1 of the Parature functionality that was acquired. So going to be a very busy year for us in the CRM team. We look forward to it. We've had a chance to be involved in some of the pre-release Microsoft programs. We've gotten to look at some of this functionality ahead of time, and it is very exciting what's coming down the road. So I want to touch on just a couple of slides here to talk about the separate functional releases. So Leo, big non-disruptive step. So it is an opt-in upgrade. So for CRM Online and CRM On-Premise, if you load this, the Spring Wave, you do opt into this functionality. So you can upgrade to it, but then choose when to actually implement it with your organization. So you can turn the different components of the CRM functional release on at your pace. You don't just have to light it up because you loaded everything. A couple of areas there noted on the screen. So customer care is our service area. We do get some integration with Office 365. So they have last year merged the online services portal. So CRM and Office 365 now are administered from the same online services portal. The social integration is new. Mobility, we now have the ability to run on several platforms, so iPhones, iPads, Windows phones, Surface pads. We support multiple browsers on multiple devices, so Internet Explorer, of course, Chrome, Firefox, Safari are all supported. The online enterprise, so the enhanced functionality are going to be part of a new SKU that is going to be an enterprise class license. And then the platform tools are getting a refresh. So the ability for us to extend CRM in what we call an XRM scenario, where you have specific line of business functionality that CRM provides itself as a platform for you to build that functionality on. So things like you would traditionally use a spreadsheet for in an organization to track certain pieces of transactions or content in your organization, we can pull those sorts of things into CRM, and just by doing so, we're able to share them across the organization and report on them. So, Leo in brief. I want to give you a screenshot of one of the new pieces of functionality. So the Unified Service Desk is one of the new service area enhancements. Back to that customer service, how important that is. The Unified Service Desk brings together on one screen the capability of a service person to provide in real-time service and have access to all the information about that customer and the account and the organization they represent all in one place. So with this screen, I have the ability to have their service level agreements. I have ability to see their entitlements. I have the ability to see all of their account history, all of their contact history. I can have call scripts that are pre-programmed based on issues that we previously experienced or what they're calling about that I can walk customers through. I can also now have the ability to reach out to other line of business systems that are not housed, data isn't stored within CRM, but I can link to them and within context bring information back to them on this service desk. So in areas where you may be in an industry that has a specific line of business application, we can now reach out to that system and get information from it from our new service desk. We have if you see on the left, we have the call log, so that's a link interface. So we have integration to telephony systems and instant messaging systems. We also have down in the bottom left, really small, we're adding a timer, so we have a session timer so we can track our SLAs if we have certain levels of response that we have to submit back. So huge impact to functionality from our existing case management area within CRM. So really excited about the capability of the Unified Service Desk. We'll talk a little bit about our platforms here. So I talked earlier about what we run on as far as mobile devices, but the ability, and I didn't put it in, but there's a slide that customers now want to be able to request service through all channels. Okay, they're calling it omni-channel. You need a CRM system and a support structure that can adapt and handle omni-channel requests. So if I want to call, the traditional, right, I'm going to call for service. Well, I also want to be able to email. I also want to be able maybe to reach out through Facebook, reach out through Twitter, and request service. So the multi-channel service capability is built to address that. Again, the Unified Service Desk, Enterprise Care Management, Knowledge Base, and Social Service. So being able to not only take requests from multiple channels, but also be able to communicate back in multiple channels and provide the content that we have back through our knowledge base within CRM in a concise, consistent manner. So I want to just throw that in. So the Supra, the social piece that we talked about, little dashboard there about what it looks like. So what this allows us to do is to put in hashtags, just a little detail, hashtags and all of those social little acronyms and tracking mechanisms that we have. We can put them into CRM and then be able to track your post, what you say on the internet, right? We can capture it back into the CRM system, and then we can use it for metrics, right? We can gain sentiment. We can gain, if we do a campaign and we send it out, what are people saying about that? What are people saying about our brand, right, or our product, or anything else that we may put out there? Just a little bit about the depth of this, a little detail there, so I won't read that slide to you, but it is a very feature-rich set. Again, this was the acquisition, the NetBreeze acquisition, so they're taking this mature product and embedding it within the Microsoft product. So it's a very robust, mature piece of functionality that we're being added to CRM. Dashboard here, so Social Insights dashboard, a little bit. Just want to give you a couple of the metric capabilities here. So again, monitoring the social world, we can see analytics, we can see sentiment, we can see trending, we can see buzz, we can track on charts and graphs where it's coming from. So people blogging about it, or they Facebooking, Twitter, videos posted out to YouTube, right? So this is me just having a microphone to the internet, the social world, and I want to track that activity and see what's going on, because ultimately I need to be able to talk to people and influence that self-research sort of scenario that's going on out there that we know is going on. We want to be a part of it, right? We want to get to them before they show up on our doorstep and know more about something than we do, right? So marketing piece, so the marketing pilot area, the marketing area of CRM, to me personally, traditionally, probably the weakest piece of CRM was the marketing area. That is no more with the marketing pilot addition. The screen I have up here is a campaign wizard. So we can, along the right, you see they're very small, are our building blocks. We drag and drop them out on our screen, and we build a campaign. So we can start with a marketing list. We want to send an email. Based on what happens to the email, we then put in the decision tree. So all the blocks you see here are either content within CRM or decisions within CRM followed up by additional content. Could be emails, could be activities, internal activities, could be adding a customer that shows interest to another campaign. But a very feature-rich set here that allows us to trigger and execute based on a number of things that are coming at us. So very, very feature-rich set. There could have thrown probably 100 different slides up here, but it also allows us to do lead scoring, monitoring, put that campaign that we launch here is going to go out in the world and generate sales leads for us, right? So that's really the circle that we're looking to close, is by us doing campaigns, we want to drive sales back to ourselves. So we want it to close that loop from an activity standpoint. Yammer, so I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Yammer. I think of Yammer as a corporate Facebook. Okay, it looks like Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I hear it looks like Facebook. Acts like Facebook. It allows you, what its purpose is, it allows you to communicate internally as an organization. You can also link it out to external organizations you choose. to be part of their network. But what it allows you to do is bring the collective intelligence of an organization together through collaboration, and it embeds it within CRM. So if you have an opportunity, say a salesperson, John here, I'll pick on John, has an opportunity, and I'll just use our company as an example. If John goes out here in Little Rock and talks to a customer about a potential opportunity, there may be pieces of that opportunity he doesn't have experience with, and he needs to reach out across our organization to collaborate with people that may have information about that. Well, we have offices in Orlando and Minneapolis and Oregon, across the U.S. Well, using a tool like this, he can go in, and within the context of that opportunity here in CRM, he can collaborate with others in our organization right here within the product. Okay, so that's kind of the power of Yammer, just in brief. But very, used correctly, right? It's a great sharing tool and a big benefit for that social kind of collaboration within an organization. Really, its intent is to bring the social collective intelligence of an organization together. I want to talk a little bit about reporting. So Power BI was a piece of functionality released by Microsoft with the Office 2013 release. Okay, it works within Excel, works within SharePoint. So you may just see Power BI kind of across the Microsoft stack. Well, we use Power BI in CRM, and the screenshot I have here is Excel. So using Power BI and Excel, we can reach out to CRM and create charts and graphs and access the data of CRM. So bring the whole power of Excel to play, and using the CRM data as a platform, we can build all of the metrics and data and reporting needs that we have. So there are others available, but this is new with the Power BI capability for us to use now Excel as a reporting platform. One last slide I have here is social insights on the account form. So just wanted to put this up here to show that with all of the monitoring CRM's doing within all the different areas, the social monitoring, that we can pull it all together on one screen. So we can get a top-down view of an organization. In this case, AdventureWorks here. This is the new layout of CRM 2013. So if you do have 2011, you do notice it looks quite a bit different. But down the left, I have information about the company. It has an integration to Bing Maps, so that's my map. That's actually a live map. If I clicked on it, it would fly out to Bing. I could use all of the power of Bing to get restaurants near there, hotels near there, all of that. In the middle, I have some social tracking, right? This is a convergence chart, but it could be all of the social monitoring that we're doing for this company. So if I wanted to see what this company or people over on the right, contacts that work for this company, are saying about me or my organization or my products or my brand, I could track through the social monitoring of those contacts or this company. I could track in my my metrics there in the middle what they're saying. What do these people or what does this organization think about me, my products, my brand, my service, my marketing efforts, my pricing, etc. Again, over on the right, we see the entitlements, so that's new. So entitlements are if you sell service plans or other types of entitlements that your organization offers, you can keep track of them there now. Also, service level agreements is new with the Spring Wave release. We haven't had those before. So if you have certain service level agreement commitments that you have to meet as part of your service, we can see those there as well. So huge year for us. We're really excited about all of the functional releases that are coming for CRM. So if you don't have CRM, if it looks like it's something interesting, right, we'd love to talk to you about it. It is a great tool. It has a lot of breadth. You can do a lot with it, not just sales, marketing, and service. But again, that XRM component of CRM allows you to, within the product, no programming needed, right? But within the product, configure it to manage, track, content within your organization that traditionally you may have used Excel to do or Access to do. And the power of CRM is that it can relate that information to all the other master information within your organization. Can be connected to your ERP products. So if you run GP or NAV or AX, CRM can be connected. They're all the Dynamics family, so they're built to work together. So we would share customer sets, share product sets. So very feature rich. If you're interested, let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you about it.
All right, and I'll take everybody off mute if anyone has any questions.
Thank you everyone for attending. Stay tuned for more updates. If there's any other questions, we can try and answer those. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming. Have a nice day.